Korea must reform its judicial system for the age of AI judges. Good day, I am Professor Nam Yong Lee, and I also serve as chairman of the Bukak Forum, a fellowship of over 2,000 PhD-level policy experts devoted to guiding and enlightening the grassroots citizens of the Republic of Korea in order to advance a sound liberal democracy and a sustainable free market economy. My fellow citizens, we must ask a fundamental question. Is Korea's judicial system truly for the people, or has it become a system built for legal professionals? Citizens enter the courtroom seeking justice, yet in reality, the courtroom has transformed into a domain that often serves the interests of the legal profession more than the public. Judicial services are slow, costly, and opaque. Instead of protecting citizens, the law has come to instill fear in them. This erosion of trust is the core crisis of Korea's justice system. Korea maintains a three-tiered court system, the first, second, and third instances. Superficially, it appears to be a triple safeguard for justice, but among the 38 OECD nations, only a few, including Korea, Japan, and Italy, still maintain a full three-instance structure. In the United States and the United Kingdom, most cases conclude within 2 trials, while the Supreme Court reviews only constitutional or precedent-setting cases. In Korea, over 74% of Supreme Court decisions merely affirm lower court rulings, revealing that the third instance functions more as a bureaucratic repetition than a genuine avenue for redress. It adds administrative burden without providing substantive justice. The Constitutional Court, too, must re-examine its role. Standing at the intersection of politics and law, it has often lost public confidence. The US Supreme Court handles both constitutional and ordinary judicial reviews in a unified structure, while the United Kingdom's Constitutional Committee delivers swift constitutional judgments within its highest court. Korea, by contrast, operates a separate constitutional court, resulting in overlapping cases, jurisdictional conflict, and recurring accusations of political bias. It is now time to integrate the Constitutional Court into a constitutional division within the Supreme Court, thereby unifying constitutional review and legal interpretation. Only through institutional consolidation can judicial trust be restored. Another issue lies in the number and specialization of judges. Korea has 2.9 judges per 100,000 people, higher than Japan, 0.9, the United States 1.2, or Germany 2.2, yet case processing remains slow and the quality of judgments inconsistent. This is not a matter of quantity, but of quality. The number of judges should be reduced to the level of Japan, while expanding the core of judicial researchers with expertise in economics, medicine, and technology. In the 21st century, it is unacceptable that judges without technical or scientific literacy preside over highly specialized cases. At the heart of judicial transparency lies the public disclosure of rulings. In major advanced democracies such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Canada, more than 95% of judgments are published online, fully searchable, and freely accessible to all. Despite having introduced an electronic litigation system years ago, Korea's disclosure rate remains at a mere 3%. According to the 2024 Supreme Court Judicial Yearbook, out of approximately 5 million judgments issued nationwide, only about 160,000 are accessible to the public. In other words, 97% of court decisions remain hidden from the citizens in whose name they were rendered. The judiciary often cites privacy protection, but in truth, opacity has become a convenient shield for unaccountable and uneven judicial administration. Court rulings are exercises of sovereign power made in the name of the people. If the people cannot see the rulings made in their name, democracy itself is denied. Government must exist in the sunshine. This is the unwritten rule of advanced democracies and the essence of global standards. The United States Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, the United Kingdom's Freedom of Information Law, and the European Union's Public Access to Documents Directive all establish transparency in governance and the judiciary as constitutional imperatives. In Korea, however, secrecy remains the rule and disclosure the exception. The judiciary does not trust the people, and the people, in turn, do not trust the judiciary. There is only one way to break this vicious cycle: publish all judgments, trial statistics, judicial panel compositions, and conflict of interest records in full. The judiciary must cease to function as a secretive power and become a public service subject to citizen oversight. We must now prepare for the era of AI judges. Artificial intelligence will not replace human judges, but it can serve as a technological partner that enhances transparency, consistency, and fairness. The U.S. Federal Judicial Center, using the Federal Enterprise Architecture (FEA) framework, analyzes judicial data to generate consistency indices and monitor bias or error. The United Kingdom and Estonia have already introduced AI-based judicial assistance systems, reducing trial times by 30% and error rates by half. Korea, too, must standardize judicial information and adopt structured electronic judgments, akin to the HL7FHIR, Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resources, framework used in global health systems, so that both AI analysis and citizen access become possible in real time. Structurally, Korea's judicial system forms a complex pyramid of the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Court, and the Administrative Court, a system that, while institutionally dense, leaves the ordinary citizen distant from justice. Through the lens of the FEA's Performance Reference Model, PRM, the true performance of justice should be measured by 4 indicators: fairness, timeliness, accessibility, and transparency. By these metrics, Korea falls below global averages on every count. The OECD average trial duration is 180 days. Korea's is 280. The average judgment disclosure rate in the OECD is 92%. Korea's is 3. The nation's Judicial Administrative Transparency Index ranks 59th in the world. These are not abstract numbers. They are the lived realities of the people's frustration. Therefore, I propose the following reforms. First, simplify the trial structure by transitioning from a 3-instance to a 2-instance system to improve speed and efficiency. Second, abolish the Constitutional Court and establish a constitutional division within the Supreme Court to integrate constitutional and ordinary adjudication. Third, reduce the number of judges while increasing specialized judicial researchers to elevate the quality of decisions. Fourth, introduce AI-assisted judicial systems to strengthen consistency, objectivity, and procedural fairness. Fifth, raise the publication rate of court judgments to at least 90%, the OECD average, and make all judicial data publicly searchable online. Finally, Korea's local judicial service market must evolve into a global judicial service ecosystem that meets the expectations of an interconnected digital world. Justice is not born within the closed walls of a courtroom. It is completed in the open gaze of the people. Without public trust, even the most elaborate procedures amount to hollow formality. The judiciary, funded by the taxpayers, must be transparent before the people, and judgments must never be rendered in the shadows. Government must exist in the sunshine. That principle must be the starting point of judicial reform in the Republic of Korea. When citizens awaken, justice will come alive. Thank you very much for your attention.